Hi everyone, my name is Taylor. I'm in the FUBU program at Indian College, and today I'm going to be demonstrating two upper body exercises that will be done seated. They can obviously both be done standing, but I'm going to be demonstrating them seated just for something different, and it could be done for if you're maybe have an injury or you're just tired, or maybe certain equipment isn't available or there's not enough room. So we're going to start with the seated shoulder dumbbell press, seated dumbbell shoulder press. And today I'm using, these are 8 pounds each, so you have to be careful when you're doing shoulder exercises not to use stuff that's too heavy until you're strong enough, and then you can have a reasonable heavy weight. But right now I'm using a light to moderate weight. For the dumbbell shoulder press, your major muscles that are worked are your anterior, medial, and medial deltoid, and basically the upper portion of your pectoralis major, so basically up here. So you actually have, I know it's a little different to demonstrate with the wrist weights, but it's still a weight, and I can still demonstrate the proper grips. So you can do this basically with these dumbbells, lots of different types of weighted things. So pronated grip would be like this way. So we're going to start the exercise. I'm going to go to 8 reps. So you would lift the weights up, starting at about a 90-degree angle at your forearm and elbow joint. Then we're going to go 1, 2, coming slow and controlled on the way down, back to 90-degree angle. 3, 4. My weights aren't touching at the top. They're just going, I'm just extending my arms all the way up. 6, 7, nice stretch. 8. So I'm seated directly upright. Neck up is up, head is up. I'm seated up and sitting directly straight. So there's no tilt or anything like that. So it's just a normal, think about your head being pulled up straight and keeping your back and everything nice and straight when you are doing the exercise. So you want your form to be that way so you get the best effect from the movements. Also, it is, since you're working so many parts of your shoulder, and basically you're working out the whole shoulder, it is a compound movement because you are working out your triceps and back muscles too. So it's not just isolating just one part of the shoulder. So for the next exercise, it's like I already said, it's going to be seated. And I will continue with that. I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't forgetting anything. But for safety concerns, like I already said, just make sure you don't use something that's too heavy because you don't want it to be dropping on yourself. So for the next exercise, we're going to be doing the seated lateral raise, which it is actually easier if you have a tilt forward with the seated lateral raise, because when you bring your arms down during the seated lateral raise, you will hit the surface you're sitting on if you don't tilt forward. So you're basically going to be leaned forward at about, that would be, I guess, 45-degree angle. I just basically say slightly leaned forward, but still keeping your back straight and your chest up and still looking forward. You don't want to be hunched over or anything like that. So you're basically still in a straight position, but slightly leaned forward. Legs together, feet and everything, and legs and knees and everything still nice and stable, even though we're sitting. For the seated lateral raise, it increases the strength of the entire shoulder region, while also increases core stability, because with the lean and with moving the weights with your arms, it actually increases your core strength too, which is cool. But it primarily works the lateral deltoid. That's the primary muscle that's being worked out. And you can, another thing too for a safety concern for this exercise, once again, it's also even more important for the lateral raise to have a reasonably light to moderate weight until you build strength, because you don't want any shoulder or elbow injuries during the lateral raise. So usually 5 to 8 pounds is a good starting weight to start at. And it is an isolation exercise. That's what also makes it a little more risky, because you're using less muscles, so you want to not use too heavy. And for this exercise, we actually have a neutral grip because we have our hands basically. So if you were standing like this, it's just we're holding it neutral. We're not doing a pronated. We have our hands palms facing each other in a neutral grip. So we are going to start now that I've went over those things with you guys. So I am leaned forward and I'm going to start and do the 8 reps. Slight bend in the elbows if needed, but not too much, because then that changes the exercise. And you can actually take away the bend in your arms once you get stronger, but because the whole idea is to keep your arms straight as possible to get the best effectiveness from the exercise. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You want to make sure that everything is slow and controlled on the way down, that you're not just letting things just drop. So, and it's almost like you're pulling from the shoulders when you come up and down. See, I had a slight bend in my arms, but see, you can also do it straight like that, or with a bit of a bend like this. And you're basically just coming up to shoulder lengths for the range of motion, shoulder height. You don't want to go any lower or any higher, because that would be more risk, and that's just not the way the exercise is. So you come up to shoulder height and down, and that's how it is. And for safety, for spotting for both exercises, since there is lower risk because there's not that much equipment and stuff, it's not a huge deal to have a spotter unless you are less confident or just beginning and really new and you feel more comfortable with a spotter. You could have one, just you want them at an appropriate distance, not too close, so that it would actually increase risk with dumbbells and stuff and a spotter. They could stand behind you, but make sure that they're not too close, because you just don't want to hit them with your weight. So that seems like I've pretty much wrapped it all up for everything. And yeah, the grip, the weights, I've pretty much covered all of it, and the safety and how the movement is shown and how it is executed. So thank you for watching my video, and maybe you could try out these exercises yourself. Thank you.